Exercise is medicine. It isn't just a concept, it's a massive opportunity for gym owners and trainers. Globally, over 30% of adults and 80% of adolescents don't meet activity guidelines, contributing to millions of preventable chronic conditions, from heart disease to diabetes and even dementia. This inactivity is projected to cost the global economy up to $314 to $446 billion annually by 2050, unless we raise activity levels to even just the minimum levels. Meanwhile, tailored exercise interventions reduce mortality risk by up to 30% across more than 25 chronic diseases. For trainers and gyms, prescribing movement isn't just healthcare, it's critical to long-term client loyalty and positioning your facility at the center of preventative care. This episode is all about exercise as medicine. In 60 seconds, we'll launch into our interview with Lisa Dougherty. Listen at the end of this episode for the code word. You could win a $100 Amazon voucher to grow your professional library of books that we recommend.
Welcome to the Fitness Business Podcast with your host, Justin Tamsett. With over 30 years in the fitness industry, JT is a globally recognized authority with a mission to lower healthcare costs worldwide by getting more people moving and moving more often in quality facilities with qualified professionals. Every episode, JT digs deep with our guests to bring you insights that will help you lead, innovate, and boost your bottom line. So let's dive in. Take it away, JT.
Welcome to our new FBP Insiders, Fiona, Simone, and Izzy. You can enjoy all the FBP Insider benefits, including the recordings of all of our webinars. That in itself is huge value. And your FBP Insider membership, just $5 a month. Go to patreon.com/Fitness Business Podcast or check out the show notes for the unique link. I'm excited to welcome to the microphone Lisa Dougherty. Now, Lisa, I always butcher our guests' introductions by missing key aspects of their expertise. So please tell our FBP community, why are you the exercise as medicine expert?
Well, thank you. I've been in this space for 27 years and living and breathing it, I think, before it was even a thing. I became a chronic disease and exercise specialist. And back in those days, there was only about a dozen trainers in the United States that went through all 15 programs to get that title. And I opened my business before there was an internet. So those who are watching and listening, do they remember those times? Put flyers on car windshields and mailboxes. I was inspired to get into this space because my dad was battling his second cancer. And I knew I wanted to help people in my life. And my goal was to come out and work with cancer survivors initially because of my dad. Started asking me, my mom has multiple sclerosis. Can you work with her? I have diabetes. Can you work with me? I have osteoporosis. And there was no trainers 27 years ago that had any education to work with anybody like this.
Yeah, it's fascinating the way we've evolved. Can I ask, in my introduction, I said exercise is medicine. For many people, it's kind of lip service. It's just a catchphrase. It's a tagline. How do you put this into language that the fitness industry might understand?
I don't know if the trainers follow the statistics in the world, but just read that by the year 2030, there'll be 1 billion people that are obese in the world. I would like to think all trainers know that via exercise, they can prevent, rehabilitate, or even slow the progression of, for example, Parkinson's or MS through exercise. I mean, there's a ton of research. It's a fact.
That's a really interesting point. There's a plethora of studies that just says exercise works as a prevention or at least slowing down disease.
I think because, and I can speak for the United States, big pharma pushes medicine. We're a reactive medical system that you get diagnosed and then you get treated with pharmaceutical drugs or something versus proactive and prevention. And there's no money in that. The money's in drugs, surgeries, and doctor's appointments. A patient cured is a patient lost. I saw that as a comic On Facebook, yeah. Patient cured is a patient lost.
Damn it, we just don't want people to get healthy, do we, if we're doctors?
Well, yeah. Trainers are in such a great position if they possess the right education to really make an impact in their community and stand out. And to me, that's the blue ocean of where they can help people. I think the fitness industry still targets to the nearly fit, which is, 15% of the population. And those are the shark infested waters. And 85% of the rest of the population has obesity, diabetes, high blood pressure, cardiovascular disease, osteoporosis, cancer. It's a scroll of diseases.
I love how you described that the industry markets towards the nearly fit. Can I ask you this, Lisa? I want you to step outside the fitness industry for a moment and not wear your fitness industry rose-colored glasses. And I want you to look into our industry. What do we actually need to present to our local community, to our state, to our country, to the world, that exercise is a real option as a preventative medicine? How do we position that?
What's been our biggest challenge, and this is globally, is that our industry is not regulated or licensed like physical therapy or even massage therapy. And so we don't have that respect as part of the healthcare continuum. Anybody can call themselves a personal trainer. Or if they have some muscles, they don't even need a certification. They're a personal trainer. And so to gain the respect of the public and for us to talk and have this exercise as medicine, they have to believe that we're real professionals and that we possess the education to even make a statement like that. And so I've been pushing to have a medical fitness space, which is separate from fitness, where those in this space, me included, that we have pursued greater education to actually go out and have the authority to say to the community, yes, I'm an arthritis fitness specialist, taking this courses in education. Here's my resume. Because most trainers take an online course that maybe is 40 hours. I don't even know what it is. And they expect to start a lifetime career with a 40-hour online course.
Yeah, it's quite fascinating when you think about, say, a nurse. A nurse goes through college to get a degree to keep us alive, and trainers are doing the same sort of thing, and they're not really getting that same level of education. Do you think that's really the key for us professionalizing our industry, is those qualifications? So is it a generic qualification to be able to train special needs populations? And please don't write to me because I said special needs, listeners. It's a general term of people who might have some sort of special program that's required. But do you think that is it a generic qualification? Or I liked what you just said then, that there's a qualification that allows me to work with people with arthritis or people with MS or people with Parkinson's. Is it general or is it specific?
It's both. Organizations like us, it's called Foundations of Medical Fitness, and it kind of makes you a general practitioner, if you will. American Council on Exercise has a medical exercise specialist. ACSM has a medical exercise specialist. So that kind of makes you a generalist. But if you want to take a deep dive and specialize in arthritis, osteoporosis, cancer, then you need to start education down that pathway. Once you do, MedFit Classroom has 23 online specialist certificate programs. That's my foundation, where you can, get a specialist certificate. However, you have to do relevant continued education on that topic to remain a specialist. In other words, you can't take an online arthritis specialist course and call yourself an arthritis specialist for 20 years. Can you imagine if your doctor took an oncology course and you have cancer and they've never done any education since they went to school in, 1982? And that's what our industry has to have. We have to have relevant continued education, again, to have that respect so that we can go out and talk to doctors, physiotherapists, the community, and do lectures and workshops, because your education, your resume stands behind you and earns you that respect.
Can you quickly tell everybody about your foundation and what you do?
Sure, yeah. 2013, I founded my first company. It was called the MedFit Network. And the purpose of that organization was to create an online registry of any trainers that had any education to work with, as you called them special populations. Even though today I think healthy people are special populations. But anyways, so that was my first project. And what I discovered doing that network is that there wasn't a lot of trainers that possessed education, and all of us on the registry, me included, there was no relevant continued education for anybody on the registry. So in 2017, I started a separate not-for-profit foundation to create education and relevant continued education. So we started with weekly webinars. We're in our 9th year. And what I wanted to accomplish was the education I took 20 years ago to recreate it, make it current, and also include, because we were going through where we had to do virtual training and telehealth and, outdoor programming. So make it for today's training environment. And with all these courses, not only do you learn about the disease, the condition, but there's a lot of interviews so that you can meet people that have that or the doctors that are in that field. There's a business component. I don't know about Australia, but in the United States, 50% of trainers fail within the first 2 years. And so the last thing I wanted is someone to become an arthritis fitness specialist and fail in 2 years. So all these courses have a business component, like how do you go market yourself in the community? What do you do? What Facebook forums should you join? What types of things should you post? So that was really important to me. And like I said, there's 23 online courses. And I know this podcast is going to lead up to, we're doing our first virtual global medical fitness conference in October, where I have 100 speakers. I can't even believe it. That many people raised their hand to speak. It'll be a 5-day event, and you can kind of get a taste of all these things to see what you'd want to do a deep dive in, like what interests you, or what does your community have a lot of? Do you have a lot of diabetes? In your community, maybe you should consider being a diabetes fitness specialist, as an example.
I want to come back and we'll certainly give that conference a plug a little bit further into the interview. Do you have any examples of gyms that are actually doing amazing things in this space?
Oh, there's a bunch. Another something that I do is I have a medical fitness center. It's not just me, that we work with people that have chronic disease and medical conditions or surgeries, or children with autism. Postnatal. Anything that's not mainstream fitness for 100% healthy people, which is pretty much everybody
these days, yeah,
out there. It is. So yes, there's a lot of gyms. They may not make that 100% their focus, but they are advertising that way to get people in. They're usually, when they pop up, they're the only ones in their community. So It's so easy to get business because you have no competitors.
Lisa, what would be the top 3 suggestions from you for best practice if you are running a program like this in your club?
Well, make sure all your trainers are educated, because, you have to be safe and effective exercise. Because if you don't know what you're doing and what the person's disease is or surgery, you could do more harm than good. So for safety, liability, you have to have the education. Number 1, without that, nothing matters. You need to do record keeping. I've seen a lot of trainers over my 27 years that I think make up a workout as someone standing there. I've carried a clipboard. I have a program that they're going to do 4 to 6 weeks. I'm going to track their progress. When they arrive, they wear a fitness tracker, Garmin, Apple Watch. I'm watching their heart rate response to exercise. I'm asking what their HRV is when they arrive, so I know what their level of stress is. I'm asking about their sleep before I train someone. So I have a planned program that I keep records of, so that if their doctor asks me, or if I'm working with a physical therapist and ask me what I'm doing, I can show them the records of things that I'm doing. And number 3, when you say 3 best practices, I don't know, it's education, records, just staying on top of the market, because things change. There's so much new treatments, interventions. I was recently diagnosed with cancer last August. I've done a lot of research on cancer because of my diagnosis. And even a year now forward, things are a little bit different than when I got diagnosed a year ago. Like doctors, you got to stay up to date. What if someone has rheumatoid arthritis, are they doing infusions, or is that going to affect their sleep or their drugs, like the GLP-1, drugs right there. We need to learn about all that stuff because people are taking those anti-obesity drugs and they have other side effects that you need to know as a trainer. So you need to stay on top of things in the medical world.
I think they're three great suggestions. I actually did a video the other day. I do a weekly video called JT and the Raw, and I used a study where consumers were asked which vet would they feel most comfortable taking their dying pet to. Was it a vet that wore activewear? Was it a vet that wore casual clothes? Was it a vet that wore a white lab coat and had a stethoscope around their neck? And resoundingly, everybody said you go to the vet who's got the white lab coat and the stethoscope because this is life and death. And I do wonder sometimes the perception from members about our trainers who don't carry a clipboard or an iPad and don't record things. The perception is, are they really that good a trainer? And would I put my life in their hands? So even if it's just a prop, that's what our trainers should have as a prop is a clipboard. It gives you instant credibility.
Oh, yeah. And I have their heart rate training zones written on there. I have their age because I don't remember everybody's age. Are they 73, 62, 54? I want to know who I'm working with at the time. And I always have an emergency contact. I've had people get sick, faint, get lightheaded during the workout, and I had to call their emergency contact because I have it on my clipboard.
That's a great suggestion, actually. That, to me, is number 4 in best practice, is have those have emergency contacts there because you're right. There is that possibility of anything happening. I think one of the interesting words that we have in our industry is a word called gym-timidation. And I guess the definition is gyms being intimidating place for non-gym users. And I'd also say to a certain degree, it's an intimidating place for allied health professionals to recommend their patients. Probably plenty of allied health professionals, doctors, physios, physical therapists have never actually been in a gym. Their perception is, oh, that's where Arnold Schwarzenegger works out at. That's not the right place for my patient to go. So I guess it's a double-barrel question. How do we make a gym less intimidating for an allied health professional to direct their patients to us?
Well, in my gym, I have art on the walls. I have potted plants. So it feels, I don't know, more, the ambiance is different. It
softens the environment.
The gym. It does. It's I have a high top table with chairs. So if someone wanted to, a caregiver or spouse wants to wait while we're training somebody, they could grab a cup of coffee and sit and read or whatever. So I have a place for people to wait while we're training somebody or if they're their kid. So it's just a different environment than a starved gym with fitness equipment.
Yeah, that's a really good suggestion. I'm curious, you have a very high emotional intelligence. I can see that. And to me, emotional intelligence is probably a critical factor of training these people. Do you give an indication as a percentage? How many sessions have you delivered where the clients come in and you've almost just sat and talked to them instead of working out with them?
Yeah, it's funny because that is true. I have done that because they're a human being and they have a bunch of things and you have to understand where they are emotionally, to your point, whether we're going through a divorce, they have stress at work. I've had people cry during their sessions just in an emotional release, not because of something I was having them do, but they were just emotional. And, again, to the fitness tracker, if someone comes in and their heart rate's 119 while they're standing there, I know they're stressed out. And I'll make them go outside and breathe and I'll ask them, do they want me to come with them? Because I'm not going to train someone who walks in my gym and their heart rate's 119 to start with.
Yes.
Because I know they're stressed out. So I look at them from my heart. I mean, I know they're there for fitness, but I have to listen to them and treat the whole person. And, when I talk about HRV, which is heart rate variability, when you're under a lot of stress, your body's not resilient and your HRV declines. And when I was going through my cancer diagnosis, even though my VO2 max was excellent, my recovery for HIIT training was excellent, my HRV was like in the teens because of my stress load. And so I knew to not do HIIT training for myself because my body was not recovering. And so you just have to know more than bicep curls and bench press and leg extension. You really need to understand what the person is going through. Did they not sleep last night? Did they get 5 hours of sleep and they're dehydrated because they didn't drink any water before they came in and they're tired? You just got to face the person, and they're different all the time, and you got to be prepared for whatever. And if it's just sit and talk, or they need to go outside and breathe, then I let them go breathe.
It must be incredibly rewarding training clients.
I can't believe I get paid to do what I do. There's not a day where I'm like, wow, I am so lucky. I get to do this and I get paid. It's never been hard work for me, unless I have a client who's a pain in my butt. And I've fired clients over the years because of their negative attitude, or they just weren't a nice person. I don't want that energy in my gym, and I don't want to be around that energy. I don't care how much they pay me. So I've done that too.
So Lisa, before I get to the final question, you mentioned before about the inaugural online conference, which is incredibly exciting because that opens it up to people all across the globe that can jump on board. Give us a snapshot. I think you said there's 100 speakers. Give us a snapshot of that event.
Well, it starts October 22nd, which is a Wednesday, goes through Sunday, and it is virtual, like I said. We'll have a keynote, I think the first 3 days so far, and then there's going to be 3 tracks. And I think there'll be 5 to 6 sessions a day. And we're trying to make the tracks easy to choose, for you to choose from. We're making them vastly different, so you're not like, wow, I like both of those, You'll get a recording, so if there's 2 on the same hour that you like, you can listen to it later. We're going to screen a documentary the first evening of the conference. It's called Code Blue, and it was a Netflix documentary, and it's about a doctor that gets diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, and she has to go through her own medical system, and how eye-opening it is to her that no one asked her about diet or exercise or sleep. And they told her that she has to go on these drugs and she's going to be in a wheelchair in 20 years. And it was like so eye-opening for her. So the documentary goes through her diagnosis and different people, different interviews. And she's actually celebrating 30 years since her diagnosis with MS, and she's not in a wheelchair. And so that's going to be the first evening where someone can watch that and see about exercise as medicine. I mean, it gives me the chills. It's really a good documentary.
Yeah. People listening, just register just to be able to watch that documentary. That will be inspiring for everybody. You just register, watch the documentary, because you'll be inspired to change the world.
Yeah. Yes. And we do. We're in the position to do the most good. We see these people more than their own doctors.
Yes.
And we're hearing about their problems, as I just described. So we're in a position to influence their life and their family. And that's really important and wonderful.
So, Lisa, here's the last question for our interview, and I've really enjoyed this, and it's inspired me so much around opening the eyes of people and trainers and marketing to be able to get more people through our front door. So here's my last question. If you could write one line or one paragraph in a business plan for 2026 for all gyms around the world, what would that one line or what would that one paragraph be?
Well, it's funny. What comes to me is more of a motivational quote, and I've had it on my wall while I built my business, and it's by a hockey player named Wayne Gretzky. And the quote is this: you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
I like it.
And that's what you got to do. You just got to keep trying. Don't give up.
You can drop the mic and exit stage right now after that. That is great. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So you're not going to get anyone to come in of special populations needs if you don't have a crack. And am I right in saying Wayne Gretzky also said you need to skate to where the puck will be, not where the puck is? I think he said that, which again is a great analogy because, like you said, we're getting aging, sickening, fattening population across the world. That's where the puck is going, and that's where we need to go, not where we are now. We need to position ourselves for what the population's health needs are going to be in 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. So, Wayne Gretzky, you've been featured on the Fitness Business Podcast.
I just gave you a statistic in 2030 that there'll be 1 billion obese people in the world. 1 billion.
Crazy.
So let's get out there, get educated, go help people.
Absolutely. Let's get out there. Thank you so much for today. It's been a fascinating discussion. We will put all the links to both the foundation and the conference in the show notes. I should ask one final question, Lisa, about the event. Because this is evergreen content and somebody watches this, say, in December or listens to this in December, can they go on to your website and be able to get the recordings post the live event?
Well, they have to register to get the link.
Great.
So if
the link will be open for
later
months to come.
Yes. You just got to register and you can watch it whenever. Well, not whenever. I think it's for 6 months because all that stuff, I don't want to say it becomes outdated, but you want to watch it when it happens, not a year from now.
Thank you so much for joining us today on the Fitness Business Podcast, Lisa. I appreciate your time, your energy, and you are an inspiration to our industry. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
No matter when you're listening to this episode, you can attend either live or on replay the online event Lisa spoke about. And we have a very unique code. All the details are in the show notes at fitnessbusinesspodcast.com or on your Patreon email if you subscribe there. Go to that unique link, click to register, and you'll get a very special opportunity. Thanks to Lisa for supporting the Fitness Business Podcast.
Hi, my name is Clint Argona. I'm the founder and CEO of MaxMembers.ai. You can find all my contact info at fitnessbusinesspodcast.com. Now, I've been in the fitness industry for over 30 years, and over a decade, we've been building software. We've also been working with wretchers for the last 2 years, hearing what gym owners are really struggling with. So what we did was refine Max Members to be your success co-pilot designed to solve those exact problems. Now, Max Members combines powerful automation with real-world gym experience and includes a patent-pending endless lead generation system so you never run out of prospects, AI agents that instantly respond to those leads and follows up forever completely hands-off and makes sales, a proprietary way to gather lead intelligence because AI is only as smart as the data that it has. Also, it doesn't stop there because Max is robust enough to replace your CRM, your app, your reputation management system, social media scheduling tools, even your phone system and marketing agency, all in one platform. It's integrated with top billing companies, so it fits right into your existing operations. And if you want maximum control, then Max, as your co-pilot, can actually watch over your gym using smart camera systems, giving you insights and accountability like never before. And at the end of the day, our mission is simple: to solve real gym industry problems utilizing cutting-edge technology. Now, it isn't just another tool because it's built by gym owners for gym owners. Now, if you're curious, we're offering a free trial of our latest product, which gets you the ability to capture anonymous website traffic even when they don't opt in. And yes, it's compliant. And oh yeah, make sure to ask us how to never cancel a member again. Check us out at maxmembers.ai. And if you'd like to contact me, see the show notes at fitnessbusinesspodcast.com.
Here are our 5 Rex Roundtables trusted suppliers you should check out. Reinig Insurance. Ken the Insurance Guy specializes in risk management and insurance for fitness businesses in the US. PowerPlate. Whole body vibration for fitness and wellness. Raw Partners, offering data-driven marketing strategies to enhance customer relationships. HR Network, all your HR needs solved at the end of the phone. Referizer, automates marketing and referrals for your business. And the code word for this episode is MEDFIT. MEDFIT. Go to fitnessbusinesspodcast.com/code word for your chance to win a $100 Amazon gift voucher. Remember the code word? MEDFIT. AI and the future of fitness has the industry abuzz at the moment. And our next episode, our guest, Eric Malzone, is at the cutting edge. You're going to love our chat as we hypothesize on what's happening in our industry. It really is a deep and meaningful and yet a great chat. Don't miss it. So go to patreon.com/fitness business podcast and register for your free 7-day trial, and you'll get this episode ad-free and 7 days before anybody else. Thanks for listening today. What we leave behind is not set in stone monuments, but what is woven into the lives of others.